Whispers rise in the quiet moments before dawn, and many people overlook them. Yet those small movements in the soul are often the beginning of something far greater. Some call it intuition. Others call it divine timing. Today, I speak to you as Shi Heng Yi, and I want to guide you into a deeper understanding of a blessing many misunderstand. A blessing is often seen as a reward, a gift, or a sudden change in life. But in ancient traditions, especially within Shaolin philosophy, a blessing is something different. It is an expansion of awareness, a shift inside you that allows you to see and feel life with new clarity. For elders, especially older women who have carried years of responsibility, sacrifice, and silent endurance, this expansion can take the form of peace, returning to the heart, renewal entering the spirit, and a calm strength rising once more. On the date we speak of, something meaningful approaches. Not a superstition, not fear, but a meeting point between inner readiness and divine timing. When the heart becomes still, a doorway opens. When years of experience settle like dust in the evening light, the soul becomes prepared to receive something subtle yet powerful. In this video, you will learn why this specific moment holds significance. You will understand how ancient teachings connect with spiritual insight, and how a quiet blessing can shift the course of a life without noise or drama. You will learn truths rarely spoken, rooted in discipline, awareness, and the hidden strength carried by elder women across generations. Stay with me until the end, because every part of this message connects like steps on a path. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire. If this journey speaks to your spirit, subscribe and walk with us on the road of mastery and awakening. Silence is often the first teacher, and those who carry the most silence within them are usually the ones who have lived the most. Elder women understand this better than anyone. When I speak of wisdom, I speak of those who have walked through storms, carried families, and held together worlds that others never even noticed. In many ancient cultures, the older woman is not just a family member. She is the memory of the tribe. She carries stories that were never written. She holds intuitions shaped by years of seeing truth beneath appearances. Time has sharpened her perception, not dulled it. While the world moves quickly and forgets its roots, she becomes the living archive of lessons that would otherwise be lost. Shaolin philosophy honors this deeply. We teach that every movement, every breath, every thought is connected to a lineage. Nothing stands alone. Wisdom is not invented in the present moment. It flows from the past, through the elders, and into the lives of those willing to listen. The strength of a tree comes from its oldest roots, not its newest leaves. In the same way, the spiritual strength of a family, a community, even a generation, rises from the endurance of its elder women. Their blessing does not come suddenly. It is not random. It is shaped over decades of patience, sacrifice, resilience, and quiet mastery. Many of them have lived lives where they gave more than they received. They held pain without complaint. They guided without recognition. They absorbed the chaos of others and transformed it into calm. This is why the blessing spoken of is not a gift given to the unprepared. It is a recognition of the power they already carry. A power refined through time, hardship, and unwavering spirit. Their endurance has become their strength, and their strength is now becoming their blessing. There comes a moment in life when the noise of the world no longer pulls the mind outward. Instead, the attention begins to sink inward, settling like a feather drifting to the center of a still lake. Aging does this gently, almost without being noticed. The priorities shift, the battles quiet down. The heart begins to listen to itself again. In Shaolin teachings, this inward turning is known as returning to the center. It is a principle that guides every practice, every stance, every breath. The center is not a physical point. It is a state of balance, where nothing external can shake the inner foundation. Warriors train for years to reach it, yet life itself carries people toward it as time passes, especially those who have lived long enough to see how quickly the world changes. Elder women often feel this shift more clearly than others. After decades of caring for families, holding responsibilities, and carrying emotional weight, something inside begins to draw back towards stillness. The heart seeks rest. The mind seeks clarity. The soul seeks truth without distraction. This movement inward is not retreat, it is refinement. Ancient masters say that when a person returns to the center, they regain a kind of power that cannot be taken away, a stability that does not depend on circumstance, a peace that does not disappear in uncertainty. This is the quiet mastery that grows with age. The blessing connected to the 30th of November is tied to this awakening. It is not about fortune appearing from nowhere, it is about the inner world aligning with a deeper balance long overdue. When the mind rests at the center, even for a moment, the soul becomes open to guidance, renewal, and subtle transformation. In that stillness, the blessing does not need to be searched for. It naturally arrives. Softness is often misunderstood in a world that praises speed, loudness, and strength, measured only by force. Yet in the oldest teachings, the greatest power is carried by what yields, not what resists. Water wears down stone, not through aggression, but through patience. The wind shapes mountains without ever needing to shout, and the heart, when soft, can endure what the hardened spirit cannot. Shaolin monks have long taught that soft energy is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of mastery. To remain gentle when life pushes, to remain calm when storms rise, to stay open when the world closes in. This is strength refined through discipline. Softness bends without breaking. It adapts without losing its essence. It survives where force destroys itself. Older women understand this without ever studying ancient texts. Their softness was shaped through years of raising others, sacrificing without recognition, and carrying burdens that few ever saw. The softness they hold today is not the softness of youth. It is the softness of survival. A softness that has endured storms silently and still remains kind, patient, and steady. This is why their strength is often invisible to the world. People see the gentleness but overlook the endurance behind it. They see the calmness but miss the battles it took to reach that calm. Yet ancient wisdom teaches that the world's deepest truths belong to those who embody this quiet resilience. The blessing tied to this moment in time arises because softness is finally being recognized for what it truly is, divine strength. A strength that does not overpower but transforms. A strength that heals instead of harms. A strength that has learned through years of living that peace is more powerful than force. In this recognition, the blessing begins to unfold, meeting them exactly where their quiet strength resides. Mindfulness for many begins as a practice. A deliberate effort to breathe slowly, to notice each moment, to quiet the mind. Younger people often approach it like a technique to be mastered, a skill to be improved. But for older women, mindfulness has long since moved beyond practice. It has become a way of being. Years of living naturally slow the pace of the heart. They have seen enough to understand that rushing rarely changes anything. They have faced moments where patience saved them, where silence revealed answers, where stillness offered protection. Their awareness was shaped not by meditation cushions, but by life itself, its joys, its struggles, its unexpected lessons. They know how to read the small shifts in a room. They can sense when someone is hurting without a word being spoken. They notice details others overlook, a change in tone, a hesitation, a truth hidden behind someone's eyes. This sensitivity is not something they were taught. It is something they earned through experience, loss, love, and endurance. Ancient teachings say that true mindfulness is not about controlling the mind, it is about seeing clearly. And clarity often comes to those who have walked long paths and learned to trust their inner senses. Older women carry this clarity like a quiet lantern, steady, warm, and unwavering. The blessing connected to this stage of life enhances that wisdom. It does not add something new, it deepens what is already there. Their intuition becomes sharper, their inner world becomes calmer. The noise that once disturbed the heart loses its power. Peace begins to settle in places where old worries once lived. In this gentle expansion of awareness, mindfulness becomes more than a practice. It becomes a sanctuary within them, one that grows brighter with each passing day. There's a teaching in Shaolin breathwork that speaks of the cycles of a human life. The first breath is the breath of youth, fast, eager, full of ambition. It is the breath that reaches outward, searching, learning, striving. But as time unfolds and seasons change, a second breath begins to rise. It is not forced. It arrives naturally, like a calm tide returning to shore. The second breath is a stage of renewal. Its rhythm is slower, but not weaker. Its depth is greater, shaped by years of carrying responsibilities and enduring struggles no one else may have seen. Those who have lived long lives know this shift intuitively. The body seeks gentler movements, the heart seeks cleaner air, the spirit seeks peace rather than pursuit. In ancient teachings, the second breath is considered more powerful because it is aware. Unlike the breath of youth, which rushes forward without looking back, the second breath carries memory. It holds the wisdom of past choices, the understanding of loss, the acceptance of change. It is breath shaped by truth. For older women, this stage often begins quietly. They feel the desire to slow down, to rest, to breathe, not to survive but to heal. Their breaths become intentional without effort. Their presence becomes grounded without trying. The world may see softness, but within that softness lies incredible strength. On the 30th of November, the blessing spoken of aligns with the opening of this second breath, not as a magical event, but as a moment where the weight they have carried begins to loosen. The divine timing connects with the body's natural shift toward renewal. A deeper breath becomes available, one that brings clarity, relief, and inner restoration. In this stage, breathing becomes more than a physical act. It becomes a gateway to a new chapter, quiet, steady, and filled with a strength that only time can create. There comes a time in life when the heart can no longer carry what it once did. Not because the heart grows weaker, but because wisdom grows stronger. True self-mastery is not only about discipline or strength, it is also about knowing when to release what no longer belongs on your path. This release is often the hardest lesson, especially for those who have spent their lives giving without asking, supporting without resting, sacrificing without recognition. Many elder women carry a weight that the world rarely sees. The quiet disappointments they never voiced, the dreams they set aside so that others could rise, the moments of hurt they swallowed because peace was more important than being right. Over time, this creates layers of emotional fatigue, soft on the outside, heavy on the inside. Ancient teachings say that the soul becomes lighter when the mind stops gripping the past. Yet letting go is not an act of the mind alone. It is an act of the spirit. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is freeing oneself from the chains of old memories. Self-compassion is not selfish. It is the recognition that one's own suffering also deserves tenderness. For many older women, this blessing serves as a doorway, a moment where the heart loosens. Even if gently, the burdens that stayed hidden begin to rise to the surface, not to harm, but to finally leave. The body exhales old fears. The mind softens toward past mistakes. The spirit begins to feel space where heaviness once lived. In ancient traditions, this release is seen as a sacred purification, a return to the natural state of the soul. Emotional lightness does not erase the journey. It honors it. And in that unburdening, a new strength appears, quiet, steady, and deeply compassionate toward oneself. This blessing marks the beginning of that inner freedom. As the years pass, the energy within a person begins to change. The outward fire of youth slowly softens, and a different kind of strength rises, quieter, deeper, more aware. In Shaolin philosophy, this shift is known as the movement toward yin. Yin is not inactivity. It is the essence of stillness, intuition, and inner clarity. It is the strength that moves without noise and understands without explanation. During youth, yang dominates. It pushes forward, strives, competes, and seeks. But as people age, yang gives way to yin, allowing a person to see life from a wider, calmer perspective. Older women often feel this transition naturally. Their instincts sharpen, their insights deepen, their presence becomes steady and grounding, even without effort. This change is not loss, it is refinement. Yin holds the power of observation, of knowing what others overlook. It carries the ability to sense truth beyond words. to feel the subtle movements of emotion and energy in any situation. Many elder women carry these gifts quietly, never realizing how rare and valuable they are. The blessing connected to this moment reinforces these yin qualities. It brings stronger intuition, making inner guidance clearer and more trustworthy. It enhances calmness, helping the heart settle easily even when life feels uncertain. It supports healing, not only physical but emotional and spiritual healing that has been delayed for years. The world often confuses quietness with weakness, but ancient teachings tell a different story. The deepest waters are the calmest. The most powerful trees stand still. The wisest voices speak softly. Aging does not strip power, it transforms it. It redirects strength from the outer world to the inner one. This blessing serves as a reminder that they are not fading. They are becoming spiritually stronger, more grounded, and more attuned to the deeper rhythms of life. Every life carries threads that stretch far beyond the present. In the quiet moments, one can feel the pulse of those who came before, a rhythm that moves beneath the surface, guiding, protecting, and whispering wisdom. Older women are living bridges between generations, carrying the strength, lessons, and resilience of ancestors into the now. They are not merely witnesses of the past, they are its vessels, its guardians, its living memory. Shaolin teachings speak of ancestry as more than lineage. Ancestors are a living energy within every person. Their experiences, their sacrifices, and their triumphs ripple through time, shaping the spirit of those who follow. When one recognizes this, life becomes less about isolation and more about connection. The burdens and gifts of the past are no longer invisible. They are active guides, offering protection and insight for each step forward. Older women, through years of endurance, empathy, and quiet leadership, naturally awaken this ancestral energy. They have carried not only their own lives, but the legacies of those before them. Their decisions, their compassion, their resilience echo forward, influencing generations in ways unseen. The blessing of the 30th of November deepens this connection. It does not create strength where none existed. It awakens what has always been present. Ancestral energy rises more fully, offering protection against unseen challenges, courage to face what remains unspoken, and guidance for paths that have yet to unfold. This activation is subtle, like a current beneath a still surface, yet powerful enough to steady the heart and sharpen intuition. In this rising, the past and present converge. The wisdom of ancestors, the endurance of life, and the strength honed through decades coalesce. It is a reminder that no life exists in isolation and that through acknowledging and embracing the living energy of ancestry, the spirit finds deeper courage, clarity, and harmony with the world. There comes a moment when the body and spirit no longer seek to chase the world. The heart understands that striving endlessly does not always lead to growth, and that some of life's deepest gifts arrive only when one stops pushing. In Shaolin practice, the highest mastery is not the ability to fight, endure, or conquer. It is the wisdom to know when to rest, when to pause, when to simply be. For elder women, this moment often approaches quietly. After years of action, decision, and care, there is a subtle shift, a recognition that the constant effort is no longer necessary. The spirit seeks stillness. The mind seeks space. The heart seeks receptivity. This is not surrender, it is alignment. It is the understanding that the flow of life carries what is ready to be received, and that forcing it only disturbs its natural arrival. The blessing tied to this time comes not as a reward for toil, but as a recognition of readiness. It meets those who have cultivated patience, endurance, and silent strength. It arrives gently, like a soft wind entering a room long closed, filling empty spaces with ease, peace, and subtle renewal. In the quiet of receiving, the spirit is allowed to stretch fully. Energy replenishes itself. Insight deepens. Emotional burdens that have lingered begin to lift. Rest is no longer a pause between tasks. It becomes a sacred act, a ritual of inner restoration and a gateway to greater clarity. This stage honors a life lived fully and a heart that has given much. It reminds that mastery is not measured only in action, but also in the ability to accept, to receive, and to let the body and soul find their own rhythm. In resting, the door opens to a blessing long prepared, patiently waiting for the moment the heart is ready. There are lives that move quietly, almost unnoticed, yet carry a depth few can imagine. Many elder women have walked such paths, years of giving, guiding, and sustaining others without applause, without acknowledgement. Their efforts often vanish into the rhythm of daily life, leaving them feeling unseen, forgotten, or taken for granted. Yet the universe remembers. God's message arrives as a reminder: every tear shed in silence, every act of patience, every sacrifice made without recognition is held in the heart of existence itself. These are not small things. They are the quiet labor that shapes families, communities, and even generations. In the stillness of reflection, one begins to sense the power of these unseen deeds. Shaolin wisdom teaches that where effort is unseen, blessings grow invisible but no less real. Just as a river carves valleys over centuries without announcing its work, the dedication of a quiet life shapes reality in ways that cannot always be measured. Strength, resilience, and insight arise from the patient endurance of challenges that the world may never witness. This blessing, then, is not a fleeting gift. It is a recognition that the inner work, the silent perseverance, and the unwavering heart do not go unnoticed. It honors the courage to continue when the world looks away, and the wisdom to act with compassion even when it is not returned. For those who feel invisible, this message is a reassurance. Worth is not determined by acknowledgement, but by the depth of commitment, the clarity of heart, and the strength to persist. The divine sees it all. The universe bows to it. And in that quiet, unseen recognition, a blessing forms, soft, steady, and powerful, awakening a profound sense of value, peace, and spiritual fulfillment that has been earned over a lifetime. A new path often begins quietly. It does not announce itself with fanfare or sudden change. Instead, it emerges like morning light, spilling gently across a still landscape, revealing shapes and directions that were always there but hidden in shadow. For those who have lived long lives, especially women who have carried much, this gentle unfolding brings clarity and reassurance. The blessing serves as a doorway to this new phase. It is not a sudden shift, but a deepening of what already exists within: calmness, inner clarity, and spiritual support. Life feels lighter, not because challenges vanish, but because perspective shifts. The heart becomes more attuned to subtle guidance. The mind grows more open to insight. The spirit senses protection and alignment in ways that were once invisible. Ancient teachings, including those of Shaolin, speak of strength in stillness. True mastery is not only in action, but in the ability to move with life rather than against it. This new path honors that principle. It does not demand force, struggle, or proving oneself. Instead, it nurtures patience, awareness, and receptivity. Each step forward becomes a reflection of inner balance, a testament to wisdom earned over decades. Guidance, protection, and courage are no longer abstract ideas. They are lived experiences, flowing naturally as the heart becomes open to receive them. Challenges may still arise, yet they are met with steadiness rather than resistance. Decisions are made with clarity, not haste. Energy moves gracefully instead of fracturing under strain. This is the power of the gentle path, quiet, profound, and enduring. It reminds that transformation need not be dramatic to be real. In peace, the spirit strengthens. In stillness, insight deepens. And as life continues beyond this moment, the path forward is illuminated softly, carrying the blessing into every thought, action, and breath. The blessing of the 30th of November 2025 is not a sudden event, but a quiet awakening. It is a reminder that true transformation comes from within, from the stillness of the heart, the clarity of the mind, and the depth of a life lived with patience and resilience. Through mindfulness, the release of old burdens, the balance of yin, and the strength of ancestral wisdom, this moment becomes a gentle renewal of spirit. It teaches that every act of endurance, every quiet sacrifice, and every moment of calm awareness is seen and honored. The divine recognizes the strength carried silently over the years, and this blessing is a reflection of that recognition. Life moves with more ease when the heart is open, the mind is clear, and the soul feels supported. Take these lessons into your daily life. Pause, breathe, and notice the subtle guidance around you. Release what no longer serves you. Trust in the quiet strength you already carry. Let patience and reflection shape your path, and allow the gentle power of stillness to guide your choices. May this understanding bring peace, clarity, and renewed energy to every day that follows. And if this message resonates with your spirit, join us on this journey. Like this video, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, and continue walking the path of inner mastery, mindful living, and timeless wisdom.